Hi, welcome to the J. Marie podcast. My name is Jessica, but I like to go by J. Marie for short. I am 23 years old and I am from the Bay Area. Welcome back if you are already subscribed, and if you are new to the channel and you like what you are listening to and you are vibing with me, be sure to leave a thumbs up and share with any of your friends, and be sure to subscribe. And also, if you want to be notified, just click on that ring bell button somewhere on the YouTube page. So we are going to be talking about dealing with toxic energy. Before we get into this whole discussion, I just want to say to any of my listeners, if you are in a toxic situation right now, you have the power to control your peace. Your emotions, your feelings, beliefs, morals, principles, that has always been your belief system growing up and how you were raised, is valid. You are valid. I have done many research on this topic, and unfortunately I've had familiar experiences from it, and I've just always been a person that is curious and wanting to know. I just crave knowledge, and I think throughout my whole life I've dealt with so many situations that I didn't know were toxic, and now I'm trying to learn how to unlearn those toxic ways. And first off, I just want to say that you cannot always avoid toxicity. Your family, your friends, even coworkers can be toxic, whomever it may be. But you can change how you deal with them. And that's what I will be talking about in this podcast. Before we get started, I want to say a disclaimer. I tread lightly on calling anyone out by labeling them, because I know that from what I've learned due to psychology, people that are toxic can be sociopaths or psychopaths, and people don't realize that mental illness is a real thing, and they don't believe it until they figure out what it's actually called. And that's when I figured out that mental illness is a real thing, and it's something that I hold close to me. For somebody to be able to understand what it is and what you had to deal with. All my life I dealt with dealing with anxiety and depression, and it messed with me, and I realized that in some situations I was the toxic one. And I think that, people that go through things have an epiphany and realize that there's changes that I need to make for myself. Because I'm a person that, if I'm in a relationship with someone, I want to be able to be that person that is trying to make that person a better person, and and that's what a healthy relationship is, to be mutual on both terms, to reciprocate with one another, talking out your situations and arguments, whatever it is that you guys are going through, you guys are both on the same page. Even if you're not on the same page and you guys agree to disagree, like, at least, like, you guys hear each other out. And I think that's healthy. Most people that are toxic don't realize they are toxic because they have no conscience of right or wrong. And what I mean by this is that conscience is different, obviously different from conscious, and that's what I didn't know until I was in psychology class. And a conscience, I don't know if I'm butchering it, but a conscience is knowing right from wrong. And people that don't know right from wrong, they believe that that they don't reflect on their consequences or why things happen the way that they do. Like, they just call it either bad luck or, and they don't reflect on their life and see why these things happen the way that they do because of what they're doing with themselves. And it's very, very toxic. And your normal is not another person's normal. From how they grew up, the way that they're raised. And I know I repeat this a lot in my podcast, but it's so important. Like, your upbringing and what you internalize within yourself, gets restored in your conscious, and you don't realize it. Like, which is why a lot of us have to deal with so many issues as we get older, and we don't realize that it is in our subconscious. Why we do toxic things. And I think for me, like, I haven't went to therapy, and I want to be able to go to therapy one day and talk about it. But I do most of my research, which is therapeutic, but it would be nice to be able to talk to someone about it. I've always hear people, promoting about therapy and how much it helps them. And, hopefully, I can get back with you guys on that. But to have a peace of mind is to create it for yourself and try to distance yourself as much as you can from people that don't match your peace. Not everyone may not be understanding as you are, or sensitive, or understanding. And a big mistake I made is staying in a situation to hope that the other person will change. And they will only change when they want to, on their own terms, not because you are there to benefit them and they understand that you are there to help them. No, like, they will change when they want to. And let's be honest, like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes we stay in toxic situations for stupid reasons, even when we knew from the jump and we peeped it from the beginning. So, and we don't realize that over time it is toxic, and it messes with you. It messes with your head. It messes with your mind. It messes with your peace. And I've always been an advocate of, like, just, like, being at peace with your mind, body, and soul. And that's so important. If a person doesn't respect you and your wishes, run for the fucking hills, because you shouldn't have to deal with that. Dealing with toxic energy, I just want to say, just don't. Like, just don't deal with it. Like, but like I said earlier, you can't always avoid toxic energy. Because even if you know it will benefit you, it won't benefit the other person, because it is just who they are and how they've always been. And 9 times out of 10, you can't do anything but live your life and just move the fuck on. And that's all I have to say about dealing with toxic energy and protecting your peace, your body, your mind, and spirit. Your mental health is so much more important than dealing with, an ugly situation. And not a lot of us don't realize our worth until after we get out that situation. You are worthy. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, leave a comment down below. And if you like what you hear, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you.